Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Vikram Jetwani. In this video, I'm going to talk about the e-commerce trends in the Middle East region. Let me share my screen right now. Here you can see that the Middle East region is entering the third phase of digital adoption. This graph is extremely interesting and it shows a very significant trend in the Middle East market. Right here, you can see that the penetration, the e-commerce penetration is growing very fast vis-a-vis the other markets. So if you talk about the developed markets, the emerging markets like Russia or even India, China, Indonesia, if you just talk about the Middle East region and some countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia, they are extremely well in terms of e-commerce growth. And why we say that, we will just talk about that. Here you can see why we are talking about such a tremendous growth potential in this particular region. Here you see that the internet penetration in UAE is one of the highest in the world, right? Even higher than the US market. US is 85%, but the UAE market is 91%. And if you see the time spent online daily, that is tremendous, like 7 hours, 49 minutes, right? Which is even more than the other developed market. That means the consumer in the UAE and Saudi Arabia and the GCC and the Middle East market is spending much more time online. Okay, so that's a very strong indicator. All right, and if you just see here, social media penetration is 99% in the UAE market, right? That is like something like, which is extremely exciting vis-a-vis the other developed markets like US, which is having 71% penetration in terms of social media. So pretty much everyone is on social media in the UAE, in Saudi Arabia, for example. And, let's move forward. Positive consumer behavior, this is even more exciting. If you see here that, this is Saudi Arabia, the one in red. And here you can see that the inspiration online, people are more active online. So that's why, they are finding the inspiration online, they are pretty active. They are comparing the products, and they are much more interested. However, there is a trend that people compare the products online, but they go and buy it offline. So that's a trend in this market we are noticing right now. There are many reasons behind that, and this trend is also shifting slowly because of certain reasons. For example, people are more interested in, cash on delivery. For example, they don't have that trust in the in the online sites to pay online or use their credit cards or online modes. So that is one of the reasons that the sales might be low, but the research and the time spent on these e-commerce sites is pretty high. All right, so that is one of the trends. Here you can see that we are comparing it with UK market, which is pretty high, which is pretty developed and advanced. But if you see here, average spend per online purchase in Saudi Arabia and Egypt, it's almost $150 as compared to $139 in the UK. That means that the propensity to buy online is much higher. The average order value is also much higher. So that reflects a very strong trend. Let's move forward. Now, this is again very important. Why? The share of top 2 players in these markets is low. In my view, this is very strong reason for the startups, and it's a level playing field. That's why we say, because, let's say in China or India or other developed advanced markets, just few players are controlling the entire market, right? For example, Alibaba or Amazon or Walmart, these are the major players which are pretty much, they have the monopoly in the market. However, in these markets, it's a level playing field, and pretty much if there is a new e-commerce portal which is providing good services, they have a room for growth. So that is why I feel that this market is the epicenter of growth in e-commerce in times to come. You can see the forecast numbers here that in 2022 and even 21st, the estimates are that there will be a CAGR of almost 22 and 28%, as high as 28% in this market. So You can see a consistent growth. This is a very strong uh, trend which we can see here. And all these markets, the Egypt market, the UAE, the Saudi Arabia, and the other MENA markets we are talking about, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar. So these markets are growing very fast, and there is a CAGR of on an average 28%, right? So let me know your thoughts about this market, and if you have any kind of inputs and feedback, and if you want to talk to me regarding the e-commerce market in the MENA region, in the Middle East, in the GCC markets, I'm always happy to talk with you. Thank you so much.